All right. I have 7:03. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming to this second information session on the new garbage system. We have with us our consultant, Wayne DeFeo, who's going to lead this information session and answer any questions that you may have. And thank you for coming. And if you're online, thank you for tuning in.
Hi, good evening, everybody. What I would like to do, because I know you're going to have a lot of questions, and change is change, and nobody likes change, and we're not good at that, any of us. But this is one of those changes that really has to come about, and I'm going to try to dispel some of the concerns really early on with a video. Pictures are always good. It's not in New Jersey, but if you could play that video for me that I put up. This is showing another community that went through carts and did the same conversion with the same size cart. Just take a quick look at it. Whoever thought of doing this was brilliant, I thought, by the way, getting a kid to do this. This is not staged. This is a kid taking out his garbage. Staged in a sense that he's doing it. There's a 96-gallon cart. Okay. The first thing I want to point out in that video is you notice he's too small to open it from the front, so he opened it from the side. He knew it was pretty good. That's what they want you to do. And the idea of this video is to show you where to place the cart. In many communities, there are often 2 and 3 or maybe even 4 carts. In this case, you're only getting the 2. The goal of this was to show where the cart had to be placed at the curb relative for collection. And my point in this is not to tell you where to put the carts. The point is to show you his size and the size relative to the cart and his ability to move it. In this case, as you could imagine, if you have kids that age or grandchildren that age, you might say they'd be thrilled to have this chore, I'm sure, and voluntarily doing it. Yeah.
So you are showing us one of the largest driveway in the lot.
No. That's not my point in this. Again, remember what I just said. The point in this was to show you a child of that size moving a cart of this size. Just to show you that the cart. Well, wait a minute. You know what? Excuse me. He did. Excuse me. Listen, I'm here to help you. Wait. Stop, Dazi. Did I answer your, did I at least understand? I know you're trying to tell me about the driveway size, and that is not the point of this video. We will get to that. Fair enough? Okay. You had a question.
Big question.
The video's on. Okay. Yeah, this is it. Not this exact one, but that size.
Now, that these are ginormous trash, take a lot of space, and you're giving us 2 that are almost 36 inches by 36 inches square.
Not
extremely high in the height.
Yeah.
And this letter states that if we were to place additional trash, let's say my 95-gallon one completely full. So we are saying that we are not allowed to put trash adjacent to this filled trash can on the street. Is that correct?
That's correct. If it's not in the cart, it will not.
New York City of rep.
Okay. So let me answer the.
Side of my house, side of the street, where I'm going to trigger a lot of rodents coming into me.
So the point of the carts, there's 2 points to the answer, or 2 elements to this answer, right? One of the design elements of carts, and interesting you mentioned the city of New York. The city of New York has just mandated carts for 3.7 million households in the city of New York to help control rats, because carts, and they'll be different than yours because New York's a little different than you are. They'll be big. The difference is in New York, each resident has to pay directly to buy their cart. The second element of it is, what happens if it's not in the carts? In any city, in any town, anywhere that has a cart system, and I can speak from being in Europe to look at them and all over the country, if it's not in the cart, it doesn't get picked up. But what does that really mean? 2 things. First, you get picked up twice a week. With this cart, you're getting 192 gallons of cart capacity, of garbage capacity in a week. But if you need a second cart, the township is working on a system to let you get a second cart. So if you actually need that second cart. Okay, let me try to answer. I don't think that it's been fully established other than there will be a fee certainly to do that, because any community that has a cart system like this would be the similar situation to say, we don't subsidize someone's electric bill. I don't pay your electric bill if you use more lights than I do, nor does your neighbor pay for your extra garbage cart if you want to put out more garbage. Having said that, I don't know what the number will be, so I can't answer that tonight. I just don't have the number.
So I deal with-
Oh, God bless you.
Sir, just a moment. We are on Zoom tonight.
Oh.
And our residents on Zoom cannot hear you.
I didn't realize that either. I'm sorry.
If you don't
I'm so sorry. No.
That's not
So,
my job.
so I'm an architect in New York City.
I give you a lot of credit.
I work with a lot of luxury retailers, also commercial offices. So the trash is being given to residential houses in New York City.
You're talking about the carts, yeah.
The carts does not resolve the issue of rodents because trash remains sitting on the street, creating rodents that are ridiculously all over the place in the subways, on the streets. On you go to Little Italy, that you see them in the middle of the night just crossing
I
the
do
street
that.
like
I do
an
that.
army. So
Yeah.
so I understand the town is trying to be a little more organized, trying to be a little more clean, but you cannot impose a secondary trash receptacle to be charged on us since we already all have trash receptacles. We've been taking them out for many years in the township. I have 3 myself, have a big household. So one trash receptacle, I need to perfectly put the trash in a square box and take it out nicely and stack them next to each other to maximize my trash within that
Can I ask you a
receptacle.
question about your
Go ahead, sir.
receptacles so I can understand what you're,
I'm sorry, what?
wait.
No, I'm okay with change. Change is always around us,
Hang on a
but
second,
there
hang on.
should be some sort of
The 3
leniency.
receptacles you have, that's my question. Are they that big?
Yes, so if anything, maybe a little bit bigger.
So you have 3 96-gallon carts today.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Mine? No, they're not 96 gallons. But if I were to have to put 3 trash bags within that,
Easily in that.
it fills, yeah, but it fills it up to the top and I have to try to push the trash in and
You're
squeeze
gonna
it
have
to
to,
the,
yeah, you're gonna have to squeeze it in.
so,
That's right.
so you're causing an inconvenience.
Because even now, in the ordinance in this town today, you're not supposed to be putting trash bags at the curb. There's
But we've been doing that for many years. Why is this a new rule that's being
It's
imposed
not
on
a
everyone?
rule. It's enforcing a rule that's been on the books for many years to try to reduce the rat problem that may or may not exist.
Yeah,
So the answer is you will have capacity. And if you have 3 regular garbage cans, 32 gallon today, you will easily
Say what you want.
get that in there. You can keep them. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
I just have a quick question. I'm fine with the garbage cans. They look nice. They're very nice. One thing, the one can is for garbage. The
Yeah.
second can is for leaves.
Now, you can use it for leaves, but it is really more for the rest of the year when you're cutting your lawn and you're trimming your flowers, that kind of thing.
Let's just say I
You
have a
won't have
landscape.
enough room in it to do all your leaves. Most people would not. So you would still use your bag system for that.
Okay, let's say I have a landscaper that does all that.
Then the landscaper takes it away. You don't have to do anything. As long as the landscaper takes it away.
Oh
for
yeah,
you
the
today.
landscaper takes care of my property.
Yeah.
There's no way I can actually get an additional garbage can and not use the leaf.
I'm not sure I'm
Like
following.
switch out the leaves for an extra garbage
No,
can.
because I see what you're saying for the rest of the year.
'Cause I called and I'm on the list. I think they mentioned it was $85, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with paying an extra $85.
Taking notes tonight for you to see
Rocco.
what has to be looked at.
Yeah.
But I would say my initial reaction would be probably not, but let them look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a very reasonable question.
Yeah. Again, I think the change is fine for my household. I don't have no issues with it.
Thank you.
One
Hold
minute.
on. Sharon's gonna,
1 minute.
Wayne has a presentation, and a lot of your questions may be answered in the presentation. So if we could hold our questions till the end, and hopefully all of us will be able to get out of here a lot sooner than if we're just asking questions of Wayne off the cuff.
okay, we can do that. Is the PowerPoint available to go up? We'll go, were you, anyone here last time? No? Okay, good. Then you haven't seen this one. You were here last time? Okay. If you could just move, oh, I have the clicker. Wait, where the hell is it? There. All right, these pictures, again, this is generic because I couldn't set something up for Nutley because Nutley hasn't had his carts yet. So let's talk about who uses carts. Carts are used throughout the United States today. They're used throughout New Jersey. Carts are the way garbage is going to be collected everywhere at some point. And they're going to do this for a few reasons. One, we talked about rodents. They help to reduce rodents and animal problems. Now, nothing eliminates it, by the way, just so you understand. There's no such thing as 100%, but they do help reduce it. Secondly, they're uniform in color and appearance, excuse me, so they tend to look a lot neater than loose bags or anything else on the street. Third, they're being used because labor is hard to come by. Just so you know, the garbage industry, the people who work on those trucks have one of the highest injury rates of any industry in the country. I have worked with people who have died. One case I worked on, the driver lost his leg. This is a lot safer. You pick up 30-gallon bags at 600 homes every day and throw them in the back of a truck and tell me how many years that can be done. When I worked in the garbage industry and I was a manager, they made us go out on the truck once a year. I didn't like it, but I thought it was actually pretty smart because it made me appreciate what the people on the truck dealt with. I have to tell you, I was sore for a week. Luckily, as I got older, I didn't have to do that anymore. So this is safer for the workers. That goes to another point. Workmen's compensation claims tend to be very high in this industry, and you contract out. Guess who pays workmen's compensation claims? Like, yeah, of course. This reduces them. You won't have what we call fully automated. You have what we'll call semi-automated. What that means, and someone asked me this before I started, is that a worker is going to take this cart off the curb to the back of the truck on its wheels. And then there is a device on the truck, they call it a tipper, that picks the cart up, dumps it, and puts it down. That is a lot easier on the worker than trying to pick anything up day in and day out. But I am telling you that not having these, what we will see is pricing going up even more than it is now, and it's going up a lot. Don't get me wrong here. Anyone here have their pricing go down for anything lately? And that's not going to happen to anybody. But it helps, not anywhere, I'm telling you. This is what it looks like. And that's actually pretty close to the way yours would look for the one color, not the other. This is a picture similar to one here. This was a student in one of my classes at Rutgers when we were talking about carts, not Nutley, just carts in general. And he said, well, my son's job, the little blue circle is his face. I didn't want to show it publicly. His job is to wheel that 96-gallon cart up the hill to the curb. He said, the father said, sometimes I have to go out if it's really jammed at Christmas time or Thanksgiving. I have to tip it for him, but he's still got a job to do. And the point is, these are counterbalanced. This is not saying everybody could do it. This is not saying that there won't be accommodation. We'll talk about that. But I am telling you that they are much easier to deal with than carrying individual garbage bags. There we go. This is all stuff you already know. Here is a picture of the way it will be picked up. Not that colored truck necessarily, but that is a picture of how a cart tipper works. The person brings it to the truck, he pulls a lever, the lever picks up the cart. Should someone do something that they shouldn't do, and I know that would never happen here, but I have seen in garbage carts, people put block, which they're not supposed to put in, a concrete block. And I have seen workers try to pick that up. It's not good. The good news is, much as that's not allowed, and I'm not telling you to do that, by the way, the good news is that tipper won't get hurt. It helps to protect the workers. Wait, hold on. We got to use the microphone. I've been told, correct? So hold your question. Just hold your question. We're done. Then I can bring you the microphone.
People should go to the podium and speak properly then. I'm sure you can hear me.
We're just trying to keep. You got my thoughts.
13-pound bag of garbage. And in 90 6-gallon,
Hmm.
garbage pail.
There are two of us in my house. The question is, what happens if,
Or does it make it more work for the garbage man to empty out one 13-pound bag?
it's the same amount of work. The question is, what happens if I only put a 13-gallon garbage bag in there? So in my house every week, that's about what we generate. One 13-gallon garbage bag. And, well, lots of, would you let me finish? I'm trying to answer your question. You've always had 2 pickups a week.
Senior citizen or someone with a heart condition doesn't want to.
I'm not sure what the point is of the question. I'm not sure what your question is.
I'm not sure what your question.
Well, I think we're going to hold off because you're monopolizing the audience. We'll hold off for now. The point is on this here is that cart tipper, of course, makes life a lot easier. So why do we do this? Why do towns go to carts? Well, they go to carts for reasons that, as you pointed out in New York, and you're right, by the way, the commercial waste in New York. I'm going to ask you one more time to be quiet. Because you're just being rude. You're being rude to your neighbors.
Mr. Alessio, just let him finish his presentation and there'll be plenty of time for questions and comments.
Just chill out.
Well, it's not addressing the questions that people are asking.
Everyone will have a chance to ask a question, and I will do my best to answer your questions. I will tell you, I will be honest with you up front. You may not always like the answers you get from me. I'll give you an honest one, but it may not be the one you like. So let me just finish my last point, and then I'll bring you to Mike. And the point here is carts are where this industry is today. It's that simple. And Nutley had a choice, and your elected officials unanimously elected to go with carts. By the way, we did look at once a week and twice a week pickup in an analysis in your township to see if once a week would save you any relevant money. It didn't in this case. We don't know why, but the bidder did what the bidder did. I can't do his math for him. So you are getting a very high and good level of service today. I will tell you that. Where I live, it's once a week, and I pay for it directly. So it's a whole different situation. And I'm cheap, so I wouldn't pay for twice a week if I could avoid it for myself. And the biggest quantity of garbage in my can is from the dog. We won't get into what that is, but you can figure it out. We don't put much out. Well, you have a couple of choices. If you don't put a lot of garbage out, the cans are closed. They're very good at containing odor when they're closed. I can tell you from experience, I've had one for 25 years. And you don't smell much. You might smell it when you lift the lid, but you don't smell it when it's closed. That's good. Keeping odor down on garbage day in August is a good thing, I think. Nobody wants to smell garbage. As far as convenience, carts are more convenient once you've used them. And what I would tell you is, and I'm still going to answer your questions. I know you had a question first. In every community that I have worked with where they have converted to carts for the first 6 months, it's getting used to it, learning something new. Sometimes we get complaints. And I can tell you literally in every community where this has occurred, after 6 months, in one community, the town took kind of a survey and said, how you guys like it? Don't touch my garbage cart. We love them. Now, that means not everybody will love them. If you could get me everybody in a town to agree on one thing, every single person, I would deem that a Christmas miracle. All right? But you're never going to make everybody happy. That's just the reality of this. And I know that. That's why I'm here, so you can get mad at me. That's fine. So let me get you, would it be all right if you come up? Would that be easier than that? If you don't mind doing that, it's just easier for me walking around. Sure.
So you mentioned cleanliness and this is an organized way and whatnot.
Yeah.
Agreed, 100%. It keeps the streets clean, debris off the streets. Now, we are willing to work with you with this crazy size. We have to work with you, right?
Right.
So there has to be some sort of leeway. If we're going to have to work with you, you gotta have to work with us as well.
I agree.
So the gentleman over here, I have the same setup with my landscaper. Landscaper picks up
Oh, okay.
my landscape. I don't need a vegetated trash receptacle.
Okay.
So if I'm going to return an $85 trash receptacle, why can't I have another trash receptacle as a credit for it?
I think that they'll take
That's
notes
just
for
a
that.
compromise that I think the town and you and whoever is in charge of this
Yeah,
rule
I'm not in charge.
needs to think about. I know, but to whomever, you know, again, I deal with change orders with clients all the time, and I have
So do
to
I.
try to sell it. And you did a great way to sell it to me as well here, with a lot of people agreeing with you and very happy with what you're saying. You're very good at selling it. Very, very good. You almost had me for a second, but it does not change the fact that I have 3 trash receptacles that I have to now dispose of.
Mhm.
I don't want to leave them stored empty in my garage. What's the
Okay.
point of them? And now I have to accommodate 2 large receptacles in my garage. That's going to potentially bring rodents. And I know you're saying we can't control.
No, no,
rodents.
can I just interject with 2
Go ahead.
questions? Because I want to understand the answer better.
Yes.
First, again, what are the receptacles that you have made from?
The ones from Home Depot, the big ones. The
They're
big
plastic or metal?
plastic.
Okay.
These are
Uh,
plastic as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
trying to figure out what they're made from
Yeah.
because that tells me something as
and
to how to help you get rid of them if they have to get rid of them. That's why I'm asking that question.
That's fine. But then the vegetated waste, for example,
Well, that's a good question.
you know, like that's something like we are willing to work with you, but we need the town to work with us. If some of us do not need the vegetated waste and we return it and we want an extra trash can, why not accommodate that? It's $85 for $85 versus if we want to keep the vegetated waste and a trash receptacle,
Then you need a third
then
one.
you can charge me for the third one. That makes complete sense.
I mean,
But we need to work with a compromise solution. That's
but it's a good question.
And I don't have the answer also. That's something that's going to have to be discussed with the entire board of commissioners, but you make a valid point and it's certainly something we can consider.
yeah, because it's I scratch your back, you scratch my back. That's the way I
That's
see
the
it.
whole point of an information session. You know, I hadn't thought, you know, I'm too cheap to pay a landscaper, so I
Now,
do it myself.
I see the frame. Again, I'm an architect, so I see the frame. I know that
Yeah,
you're trying
this is
to
the
have it.
size of the size,
Yeah,
right?
and
Yeah.
you want to have some sort of a hook that goes onto the trash receptacle that pivots the trash receptacle into the trash can, into the big truck, right?
It,
That's what
it
it's going-
depends on the method, but this one does do that.
Correct.
Yes.
So if some people are going to come up here and tell you that these are too big, I have no room for them. Is there any way that we can provide smaller receptacles that have the same receiver for your truck?
Okay. And again,
The
fair.
receiver for the truck, but smaller.
No. You're talking about different size carts. I get what
Yeah,
you're
with
saying.
the same receiver for your truck that will be able to help alleviate the issues with people.
Sure. Here.
Same here. It's annoying to come
Okay,
back
wait.
and have to deal with.
I'm going to ask you to try and keep an order to this. They can't hear you on Zoom. Go play what you want.
But again, just my, before I walk back, I just think that the town should try to compromise.
That's right.
If people are going to have one returned, one should come back to us as a
Well,
trash
you heard the
receptacle.
mayor.
I know. Thank you, Mayor, for that. But that's something for
And
you
they'll
guys to
look at that.
consider.
As far as the sizes, again, I'm going to say to you that I know the town is considering, they have worked out different size orders. And I'm going to say to you, and what I say to every community that's done this, everyone, and not me, but everyone who's done this, says the same thing. Try it, get through Super Bowl weekend, get through the end of January when the system starts. And then if it doesn't work, the town can take into consideration trying to make some adjustments.
I don't agree with you.
First.
I understand with you, but I don't agree with you. We should
That's
bite
okay.
problems in the ass before it gets worse. So if there's a majority of people, you're going to accommodate myself, like I can move this, I don't mind it. But to his point, yes, senior citizens. My mother, for example, has a shoulder issue.
Mm-hmm.
She won't be able to do that if I'm not around, and I travel a lot.
Okay, again, I'm going to ask you, in every community where this is done, we've said the same thing. Now, everybody's the same thing. Try it, just once or twice. And then if it doesn't work,
Or you
Then
just
we
create the
deal with it.
flexible one where it's a little shorter, same receiver, and everyone's
that's
happy.
being considered.
Yeah. That's all.
Okay, that's not something that's not being considered. I'm not going to tell you that's out of the picture. It's not. No, thank you.
So the town already has carts that are 1/3 the size of this, 64 gallons. We have a limited run of them. And so what we're asking to people to do is to try it with the big one. But if you really have a real issue, like you have some sort of ADA issue, you're not able to manage, it's impossible for you to manage with this size cart, let us know. We'll get you the smaller one.
Folks, we're trying to keep this in an order.
We're trying to prioritize people who really can't manage with the larger carts, get them the smaller carts first, and then we'll work our way down.
I understand that you're disagreeing with the methodology.
And
Folks, again, you know, I used to teach seventh grade, and we try and keep people speaking in order. We have a line here. Please keep it in order. We'll get to your questions. I promise. You're next. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Part of my concern was the space thing. We just spent $600 on from Lowe's on a shed for our garbage cans, so we didn't have to look at them. And plus, the rats in the area when Sickleen building went down were very, very bad. And thankfully, we had a cat that killed them.
Together.
Yeah, yeah, but these will not fit in our container.
Garbage shed?
And
I don't think so.
no, they definitely won't fit in our
Okay.
shed.
I don't know what the shed looks like, so I can't.
And we have right now we have 3 of the smaller garbage cans, and one of them's a recyclable. Is the other one supposed to be for recyclables too?
No. No, your recycling system does not change from what you're doing today. Nothing has changed on the recycling
Okay,
system.
so you
That's
know,
done. That's a different way of collecting. That is
So-
not going to change.
so that's
You
definitely not. That's definitely not fitting. Even 2 of us smaller ones, square ones, we had to get special ones for Lowe's. So $600 for that, and you know, I think they're like $60 each the garbage can. So $720 in the hole would just throw out the window. And how much are all these cans costing the taxpayers in town too?
It's a fair question. First of all, these carts have been built into the bid. Nothing's free, okay? Let me not try to tell you that. The carts are built into the bid price. They'll be paid for over a period of 5 years. Plus, they have you own them, i.e. the township owns the carts at the end, but they're rated at 10 years. As I said, my cart's over 20 years old. I'm not saying carts never break, by the way.
The wheels.
What I'm saying, if it breaks, it's under warranty. It's up to the hauler and the manufacturer of the cart to replace the cart. These carts aren't going to cost you anything to maintain as a township. It's all under warranty. And I've seen this happen in other towns. Sometimes the hauler's a little rougher with a can than you might like. Well, then that's their responsibility and they have to pay for it. And that'll be dealt with through phone calls and dealing with how you deal with the hauler today.
And
So-
also, we were talking about getting rid of the current garbage cans. Is that going to be, but we have nowhere to put them. And it's unsightly.
Well, if you don't want them, let me mention to you, the
There's-
township is looking at creating a collection day where if you have old plastic carts where they can be brought in, the town will put them in the dumpster and then they would be recycled. So that's something that can be done. It's not, I don't think the date's set or anything is set up for that yet, but it is something the town is looking for. Again, in other communities where we've done this, that's what we did for people to accommodate. So they wanted to get rid of the old one. It'll get recycled, not thrown in the garbage, which, by the way, means it'll probably come back as a cart someday because all of these carts have some old plastic in them. They're all made with recycled plastic.
And
the
if garbage,
So,
sorry.
no, that's okay.
So if garbage falls on the ground or there's something on the side of the cart, it won't get picked up if it's not in that cart,
If it's
you're saying.
not
So
in
then
this
how does-
cart,
Yeah.
the hauler is not obligated to pick it up because that
So-
defeats the whole point of having a cart.
But if something falls out, doesn't something need to be picked?
Then that's on them.
Disaster.
If they dump it and make a mess, they got to clean it up.
If
And
we're
that's a
talking
problem,
about
you file a
rodents,
complaint, let the
then
town know.
yeah.
Again, like I said, now we bought this thing so we didn't have to look at the garbage can.
Now we're gonna look at the
Now
garbage.
now this definitely will not fit in our.
And there was
that-
a major rodent issue because
This would help.
proper trapping was not done when they knocked down
Okay,
Ciccolinis.
that I can do
So
nothing with.
there is a rat
Can't do anything
problem.
about that, but I can tell you that
We can't blame it on garbage cans. let's be real.
Had this been the receptacle, it would have helped because rats need 3 things. They
Right.
need food, they
Yes.
need water,
Water.
and they need shelter.
My friend
If
is
you
the head of the
eliminate
health
food,
department in Linden. I know that.
It helps. It's not, again, I'll stress it again, as I always will. Is it perfect?
No.
Will it stop every rodent in the world?
No.
No. Will it reduce even raccoons? It'll reduce them a little bit, but they're smart little buggers, raccoons.
Yeah,
And they'll figure out anything I do,
yeah.
but it will help. It'll help reduce it'll help reduce the bag getting ripped open, which is why, again, I want to stress to you all, and it's not my place to enforce it. You have ordinances on the books today to try to prevent this. Plastic bags aren't supposed to be used. Most communities don't allow that anymore for the very reasons you're concerned about. Meaning you could put a plastic bag in here,
No, that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
but not meaning it, leaving it on the curb is
Right.
just inviting animals to come rip it
So
over.
are we
So,
getting smaller ones for our thing?
The
again, you have to call the
colored
town, let them
ones.
know
Yeah.
what you need. And I don't know what the accommodation will be yet, because I'm not saying they can or can't, because there's a limited run. First priority will be people who have physical reasons to have, meaning themselves, to not use the bigger
She
car.
can't use a bigger car, and I
Can you?
travel for work quite a bit.
When he's
I'm
in
in.
China,
okay.
the garbage is not going to go out. When he's in Italy, the garbage is not going to go out.
Why don't you
But
go
I
with them
can't
to
do
Italy?
it because I
Then
work
never-
in Manhattan.
Let us take it on it. Look,
Someone's
you,
gotta
we,
pay
we
the
now know what your concern is.
I'm not
So that I
retired,
can't
but I'm
answer all your
disabled.
questions by saying you're going to get what you want.
Answer that?
And he can't answer it that way.
The maroon cart.
So give them the information. We'll go from there.
The
I'm sorry,
maroon
that took a
cards.
long
I'm
time. Go
sorry.
ahead. No.
So
Don't worry about
we live in townhomes. Like we have neighbors here.
Yeah.
The
You live in-
townhomes in Nutley, they are not big driveway. They are
Mhm.
not, there is no big driveway. There is no big garage. You suggested to try it. We love it. I can't even try it. Like it's too much issues with it because of the size. I can park my car in the garage. If I park the car in the garage, I have to take it out to take this out.
Mhm.
If I park the garage with this, I have to jump over it. So it doesn't fit in our garage. And we are not supposed to leave it outside on the driveway. Even if we leave it on the driveway, we can't drive around it.
We've done this before in a lot of townhome communities. And by the way, you're not the first townhome community person who's made that statement to me in any community. That's up to your townhome community is going to probably have to modify its bylaws to allow you to keep outdoor storage of the cart. They won't like
I mean,
it.
again, we
If
have
they
to leave
don't-
it on the sidewalk, not even on the drive. Our driver is
don't
like
know-
one car.
Yeah,
Like
I don't
that's-
know your specifics. Obviously, I'm not in your community. I don't sit there.
I mean, I know. I'm just
Yeah.
giving you the specific. This does not work even to try it.
Well, I've seen it.
So
work
you
in-
have to
in-
give us the option. I know you've seen it, but maybe they are like large development
No.
or something.
They're not. They're moderate
Like,
income
I have
homes. I
people
mean,
here, and
again,
I can't-
let the town take a look at it. Maybe.
I
Yeah,
mean, at
maybe-
this point, we can't even try it. We have to get rid of it. I can't park my car inside.
I understand what you're saying.
I have to
and I'm
charge
just
my
saying-
car. I have to put the car
I
inside.
understand what you're
all
saying.
those things.
And I'll just say to you again, try it first.
Try
See what
it.
happens.
Try
And you
this. you
talk to
mean?
your community. Well, they're being delivered. So there's nothing that I can do to stop the delivery. Try it.
So
Then
can we have
then you
a-
get
so-
information.
I mean, you said they are prioritizing to this, but we cannot use it because
I
it
don't know.
can't get
I don't know
around
what your
it.
community, what's the community you live in?
Cambridge Heights.
What is it?
Cambridge Heights.
Cambridge Heights? Yeah, okay. But I will say that the basis of
One committee. in-
townhomes complaining about moving to carts is universal. Everyone I've ever dealt with has complained. And every
what
one of
was
them
the-
has made
What
it
was the solution for it?
in some cases, and I'm not saying that this is Nutley's solution, by the way, but I'm answering your question. In some cases, the towns worked with the townhome community and said, okay, if you really want to go to some alternative system, you buy new carts that are our exact carts, but in a different size as the community, because the township cannot subsidize the community. That's why I'm not saying that is the option. I am saying that is an option I've seen work. Where the town,
So
the
at
condo
least-
association, right? It's a condominium association?
Yeah.
Homeowners association?
Yeah.
The association worked together with itself and the town municipality, whatever, and decided, okay, the spec is the spec. The manufacturer makes different sizes. The spec is already out there. The association made a statement.
When you
said, okay,
decided
we'll
for
buy
this
them.
size, you didn't think about our community basically because these are not fitting ours.
The idea when you do carts is you try to keep a uniform size with alternatives available because the biggest complaint that is typically made when conversion to carts is they're not big enough. It's usually not the reverse. It's
Yeah,
usually
for us
that
it's
we
the
don't have
reverse. I
room.
understand. Like people
Yeah.
complaining because it's
Wh-
not big enough.
I get it. I get what you're saying. And I'm giving you what one of the alternatives might be. So I
if
don't have
that
an answer for
alternative
you.
doesn't work, I have to get rid of this because I
You
can't.
wouldn't have to get rid of it because the town will it belongs to the town.
Okay, I'm going to return it to
Yeah.
the town basically.
So that's an option that the commissioners could look at.
I should have sent this to you.
So,
You can't all speak at the same time.
We're all saying the same thing.
so I live in a townhouse community as well. I know we have different communities, but If you're from Cambridge Heights, the HOA is already working with the health department. And so we're already in discussions, but continue to have your HOA reach out to us and we'll find a solution.
Okay, now I have one more question. So previously, if we had a piece of furniture or something, we could leave it on the curb. Now with this system, can we still do it?
Your bulk pickup program, there have been changes to your bulk pickup program. They have to be by reservation. You must make a reservation for bulk collection, which means you have to call or email, not email, but register. And the reason for that is, again, to help control costs, because when you have a garbage truck driving all over the town looking for a piece of furniture, you're spending a lot of money and a lot of pollution driving it. Just like UPS doesn't just drive around every house for anything for no reason. This is the reverse. So the bulk pickup is not changing, other than it's going to be by reservation so that the truck knows exactly where to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Hi, I have two parts. First, I have a two-family house. So do I get?
He has a two-family. It's working.
I have a two-family house. So do I get a bin for both?
Yeah, you would get one for each family.
Okay, and I don't have a driveway. I have a very high set of stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So getting that up and down stairs is going to be difficult.
We just talked about that a little while
ago. I don't, how would you handle that? I mean, I could keep it down on the street by the curb and bring up. Yeah. So I was just curious about that.
Well, there's your answer. Yeah. The mayor said they're not going to make you carry it up the stairs.
So where would I keep it down by the street then?
I don't have an answer for that. Man.
You're gonna have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to make anyone carry it upstairs.
Yeah.
Really nowhere else on your property. We got the street for now, but we'll figure that out.
Okay. Well, I have small cans. They're not
even so. It's carrying it up and down stairs. I don't care if it's small, big, or medium. It's not fun.
Yeah. No, I have a smaller thing. So
okay. That's the answer to your question.
Okay.
All right. Two questions. One. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't give him the mic. The mayor says he's not going to make you, the township, not the mayor, the township is not going to make you carry the cans up and down the stairs. If you can't get them up there for whatever reason, then you would be able for now to keep it down below for now between collections. Just leave it there. Not in the street. It's going to be at the curb. At the curb.
They ought to hire you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, for now, that's going to be the interim solution until this whole thing can be worked out. Again, where this is a system of walking, crawl, walk, run. And right now you're at the crawl phase. They're putting them out there. They're starting. Then we'll walk, meaning we'll learn our mistakes and fall down a few times. And then as it starts to streamline, we'll run. And I am telling you, that is how it works in every community. Hang on, but there's a woman up here who's ahead of you. There's a woman up here ahead of you. Just look, can this woman who's been very patient, who's waited in line, speak? Go ahead.
Two questions.
Yes.
Just keep it simple, stupid. How do you place this can at the street? It's got a bar in the back.
Okay, that's a good question.
So I want to place this can so that the truck doesn't pass me by because it can't hook it or grab it. Okay. How do I put it at the street?
I don't have that slide up.
And how far from the curb or at the curb do I do this?
All right. And by the way, very practical questions and very much under. I want
to get out of here sometime this month.
I do too. The short answer is, again, the truck is not picking these up directly. It's not like what you think of, like some communities where a robot comes out and that's not this situation because you have street parking.
Oh.
So it almost isn't all that critical whether the can faces the street or you do this. It's best typically to do this. I'm the street.
Yeah.
And because it's easier for you typically to wheel the cart this way and put it like this. You may not find that easier. Right?
Oh, no, I don't know. I'm asking you.
So if you found it easier to do this with a cart and leave it at the curb like this,
yeah,
it won't matter for the way this system works because it
doesn't have to be so many inches from the curb or out in the street.
Do you have a spec that you put? No, it just has to be at the curb. There's not going to be 3 inches, 4 inches a foot. It's like if it's not in the box, it's going to still get picked up. So
okay. because I know someone in their state, and if it's not so many inches from the curb, if it's not with that
Of
bar,
course,
then they passed it and
because
you're
that's an
up the creek.
automated robotic arm,
Yeah,
and it can't, if it's a robot, it
And
can't do
right-
anything.
Right.
See,
Okay.
we don't have that issue here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nope.
Hi, I'm not sure you can answer this question, but I was wondering how much was actually spent to buy these cans and how many were bought?
You have the break. I don't have the breakout in my head. Okay. All right. About 18,000 were purchased because you have to have spares and for development. And out of the total contract cost, it came to about 1.3 million for 18,000 carts.
Okay.
To answer your question.
And the second question is this a faster way to collect the garbage to actually get the garbage from the can
Yes.
into the truck?
Yes, for two reasons. One, instead of going, let's say you're the curb and I'm the garbage man,
Okay.
and you have 3 bags. I'm going to pick up 2 if I can, throw them in the truck. And that's supposed to be bags, supposed to be cans, but you have 3 cans. I take the can, go to the truck, and come back. I take the can, go to the truck, and come back. With this, I take the can, go to the truck, and put it back, and I'm done. I'm only making 1 trip. So
Okay.
it's faster and
And-
safer.
And the third question I had, you said you taught 7th grade.
Yes.
Were they as difficult as this group is?
After teaching 7th grade, nothing is difficult.
Okay.
For anyone here a teacher or was a teacher, God bless you. Go ahead.
Hi,
Hi.
it's a good presentation.
I'm glad you like it.
I applaud that we're going to this type of system. I'm an insurance broker, workers' comp, I get it. But the implementation, execution has to be rethought, okay? There was no survey done, okay? I am on the board of Cambridge Heights, okay? I am on the email thread with you, John, okay? And the problem is that Cambridge Heights was created where a lot of the units are 15 and a half feet wide. There's only 5 feet between each driveway.
Mm-hmm.
We have very little parking. So the parking spots are in your garage. One car on your driveway and one car in your garage.
So parking, I didn't understand.
So we're hurting for parking.
Yeah.
And then you have units that only have 5.5 feet between, which is the doorway. There's a little bit of grass. There's no place to put these cans.
I don't quite understand when you say, I just don't understand. So help
Okay.
me out. When you
So
say
if the
5.5 feet, is it 5.5 feet from your front door to the curb?
No, it's 1 car length, basically, from the curb to your unit,
right,
to your garage door.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you can fit 1 car on it.
Got it.
In between driveways, so if you're in a 7 or 8 unit building, they're brownstone townhouses. They're 15 and a half feet wide, 2 or 3 feet.
That helps.
Okay, but they're all 2 bedrooms. Okay, the very small space.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't meant for big families like the gentleman who's the architect behind me. Okay, who uses a lot of garbage. We have very
I blame the
small-
architect for building it.
Well, no, it's the town approved. The town approved this. Okay, the town approved
I'm
this.
not questioning.
We cannot have garbage cans this size. We make people put garbage cans in their garage because it simply would look like a slum. Having all these garages, we have 569 units behind our gates. Okay. So you can't have garbage can after garbage can. You can't have it out. We pay enough taxes. We take $10,000 to $15,000 a unit. You can't have garbage cans sitting out. You're not going to sell your unit. You're just not. It's going to look like a slum.
I can't answer other than to tell you that.
What should have
What's
happened-
5.5 feet, by the way? When you said
5.5 feet between the driveways.
So if I have a driveway that ends here,
right?
I've got some
You basically have
grass
a
or
doorway and a
whatever it
couple of
is.
bushes, and then you have another driveway.
Okay, so you have a small grass or median buffer, something. Could be
5.5
brick or
feet of
whatever.
median buffer of bushes and
As long
and
as I
grass.
understood what it was. Yeah,
That's
go ahead.
it. Okay. There are some units that have some front grass, and they even have the smallest garages. Okay.
They have grass.
So they couldn't even handle, like, it's tough for them to put a regular 65 gallon. Is that what the normal garbage cans
No,
are?
normal is 32.
Okay. No, but I'm saying the normal garbage cans are about 65.
A normal garbage can you
Okay.
buy in a store is 32 gallons.
Okay. So we're talking about 95 gallons here. There's no place to put this. There's no place that we can leave this outside without looking like a slum.
I can't answer that question
And I'm
tonight.
sure I see a lot of faces from my community because we were bombarded as a board. We had nothing to do
Oh,
with
you're
this.
on the board.
I am on the board. I'm the treasurer of the board. Okay. It's just poorly executed. It should have been a survey. Everybody has different needs. You have different sizes. You didn't need to buy 18,095 gallon. You should have bought a couple of thousand small ones.
So
and give people the choice.
I appreciate that you wanted to get that off your chest, and I appreciate you saying it. And I can tell you that again, and I'll take the heat on this one, because in every community where this works, the same basic methodology works. If you tried the survey and say, I have 7,500 homes in my town, or 8,000 homes, or 9,000 homes, and I want 9,000 opinions, I can't design 9,000 systems. But
I get it.
and I
but
will
we're
tell you,
asking for smaller.
I understand that. And I think I answered the question earlier from the people who said the town will consider that, but maybe the HOA will have to work with the town, because the town can't, and every community has the same thing. I've worked with very large communities. Middletown is an example. We did this exact thing. That's 45,000 carts. And in that case, there's everything from the governor's house, which is on 1 million acres, to a townhome smaller probably than your community, because it's at the
There's
shore.
probably not one community. There's not one home that has.
And
a
they
95
all
gallon.
received the same cart.
Very poorly thought out.
So,
okay, you're going to hear complaints. There's no place in our community to put garbage cans, period, outside. And it's going to make it look like
well,
a
at least
slum.
the carts will be neat, orderly, and uniform. And when I've seen them in townhome communities where they have to be kept outside, they don't really look bad. They're up against the building typically, but they work. Now, you may not like it after the first month, and then your HOA can contact the commissioners and start.
We've already contacted, and it needs,
Well,
we
there's
need
a
to go
discussion
farther.
being held.
And I'm sure there's other people going to comment.
Well, if you all say the same thing, I'll give you the same answer. But I mean, that's the answer. You've got to try it first. That's all I'm telling you. You got to.
One size does not fit all.
Well,
That's-
I appreciate that.
So I'm going to put the icing on the cake because he really narrowed everything I wanted to say. When I called to complain to the town,
Yeah.
the people in the township who picked up the phone were complaining with me, and they were all in agreement with that this is complete and utter BS. So I have to admit,
I'm not here.
when I called yesterday, I'm sorry, 2 days ago, and I have the piece
You
of
live there
text,
as well, but-
I live on Satterthwaite Avenue. So I am not going to put
Cambridge
my,
Heights?
no, I live on Satterthwaite next to Highfield Lane. It's a nice street,
Oh, yeah,
very
no,
big,
there.
very long
Yeah, yeah,
driveways.
very nice,
But
yeah.
I don't want to have these trash receptacles up against my house, where now instead of them residing on the side of my house, they have to reside in front of my garage. Because I'm not putting them in my garage. I don't want rats in my house.
You have it on the side of the garage now. You just said.
No, they don't fit. No, right now they're in front of my garage. My 33-gallon one,
Yeah.
that fits by the side of the garage
This
very
one
well.
fit by the side.
Nope, does not. And then the
I'll look at
second
it.
question for that answers yours. And then there was a gentleman who walked up and said regarding the stairs, placing a trash receptacle on a walkway. Do you hear what you're saying?
I'm not saying to put
This
it on
is
the walkway.
not compliant whatsoever. The trash receptacles are out for a few hours of the day from the night before
I'm not
to the
suggesting
morning.
you
But
put
then
up
if a wheelchair person is going through that sidewalk, now those people with just staircases going up to their house have these trash cans blocking the sidewalk.
No one is suggesting that.
You just did a minute ago, didn't
No,
didn't
I
you?
never said put it on the side.
You said not to, you said leave it down at the end of the
I
stairs
never said put it on block a sidewalk.
on the
Just put it
curb.
on curb.
So the
Yeah.
curb, but isn't the curb below your property? If you have stairs that lead to your property, the curb is below your property.
Do not
Right.
block a sidewalk. Common sense would dictate that.
So then the people that have staircases that,
Again, all
what do
of
they,
that
what do
is
they
not
do
re-
with that?
You're asking a what if for an entire community, and every situation may be slightly different.
And that's where you answer that your own
Right.
problem right now. And I'm sorry, Mayor, I'm going to put you on the spot. A
You can't answer
survey,
that right now.
a survey must have happened
And I-
prior to just acquiring a deal
And let
for
me explain to you
18,000
one
trash.
more time.
Time out. Let me just finish because I didn't
Okay.
interrupt you. 18,000 trash cans
Fair enough.
ordered one shot over the course of 5 years. You got a really good deal on them. You got the biggest one where now you're getting a lot of heat for it instead of being organized, sending a survey to every tenant where they have a deadline to issue to the township, where now you have a quantity of 33 versus 95 At least you know exactly what the people want and you wouldn't have had this long ass meeting today.
Well, actually, we probably would have because you've actually answered the questions 3 times.
No. Disorganization is what I saw. And everyone here will agree with me that this is complete disorganization.
And I can tell you do a lot of architectural presentations as well, by the way. You're very good at
I
it.
fight all change orders, especially when I need to shove it down someone's throat. You're doing great at that.
And I
But I'm not
appreciate
paying
it.
for a change order.
And I appreciate it. Let me just say to you, though, what you stated twice is exactly why surveys don't work. Everybody coming up here has had a different issue, and you cannot design a program. As I said, in every program that's been done, up to the largest one I have seen implemented, which is over 150,000 carts, the same process was designed. You order one set of carts, you put the carts in place. If you need adjustments after so much time, you begin to backfill the adjustments. The reason you do that is it's a much more efficient method of moving things out to start. A survey is too cumbersome. I know you think that works. I've been doing this for almost 35 years, and I'm telling you it doesn't work. From my experience, I know it seems like it should work, but it doesn't. And now you have been extraordinarily patient. Please.
Well, actually, I disagree with what you just said because I think the majority of these complaints have been space issues, which is what I'm going to,
Folks, I can't hear her if you talk.
which is what I am going to complain about. I have nowhere to put my cart without having to carry it to the space. First of all, I can't fit it on the side of my house where my cart currently resides because I can't get it into my gateway. So it would have to go around to the other side, which is over my front lawn. I'm not going to wheel a cart over my front lawn and devalue my property. So I have to carry it over. Of course, you don't know because you haven't seen my property, so you don't know.
No, I was going to say, I don't know how it devalues your property to wheel a cart over it. But
Over my front lawn?
Yeah.
Who would do that here? Who would wheel a cart over their front lawn? It'll ruin my lawn.
Okay,
Really?
I got
Okay,
nothing.
so I have
I don't
to-
see it, but all right.
Right, of course you don't. So I would have to carry it over my front lawn,
You
which I
couldn't do that.
cannot do.
No one.
Right. So I just
By his
want,
means.
I would just love a smaller container. I would be willing to pay for it. I really appreciate the town supplying carts. I own a home in Ocean Grove. They switched to a new system and they did not supply them. So I really appreciate that. But it does not work for me. I will purchase it. I'm happy to do so. I purchased my current cart. I'm fine with that. But please, just let us know when the smaller carts can be made available so I can take it out of my curbside because I stare at it every day. It looks like a construction site. So I'm happy with this system. I just want a smaller cart.
So can I suggest that you give, like you did before, give your name and address to the people over there, and then they can talk with you. I don't have an answer for you, but they can at least start the discussion.
Certainly, yes.
And thank you for your
absolutely.
patience in line. You had a question or a statement or whatever.
I have few ideas I want to share.
Okay.
Sorry, do you hear me? So the first thing that I'm from Cambridge Heights.
Okay.
So they insist that cars should be in the garage.
That Cambridge Heights bylaws. I understand that. Most condos have that same bylaw.
It is not Cambridge Heights bylaws. That is the point. So it should be in my garage. The size of this car should be the size that fire department will allow to keep in my garage for safety reasons. That is the first point.
Go ahead.
Second point, the size of this trash can should be the size I should not shuffle my car with a garbage can when I need to put it outside or inside. Because one shuffle is 2 engine turns of my car. Twice back and forth, it's 4. I have 2 cars, it's 16 by week unnecessary turns of engines. It makes 500,000.
Okay, now
It makes 500,000 unnecessary turns of agents for Cambridge Heights community in a year. It will lower down the quality of the air which we are breathing. Definitely. So it should be, first, it should be approved by fire department. Second, it should not be like I should shuffle my car and the garbage can. And the third thing that is, I asked my friend who is a lawyer, this garbage can is a property of Nutley.
Correct.
I am an owner of my unit.
Mhm.
I asked him, what if I decided that I don't want to keep it in my garage? He said that will be a long lawsuit. It will be expensive, but it will be successful. If somebody will decide that because that is a take of property. The law.
I'm not a lawyer.
I'm also not a lawyer, but he told me that is the take of the property. And the only way you put this garbage can in your garage by your will. It means that it should be done properly and people should agree to put it in their garage.
I don't have answers to your 3 questions, but I appreciate your comment. You made 3 statements. I don't really have an answer.
That should be addressed before even some other sizes will be presented to us. For me, for my household, 15, 20 gallons will be enough.
I get that. Even for me, it would be the same, but I don't have that option.
I don't need 95 and fly around it, you know?
I understand everybody.
I think that a lot of people will not agree to put them in the garage. And today, with the wind, this garbage,
do nothing.
Beautiful.
It will not move. These carts are designed to withstand 65-mile-an-hour winds without tipping.
It was empty, and it moved and it scratched the car of my husband. I can show you.
Will not move. A full cart won't move.
It was empty and it scratched.
Oh, you have your cart, or you don't have your cart?
Yes, it is.
Cambridge have their cart?
It's staying. It's nowhere to put it. So the wind blew it, and
I'll leave you with the same thought I left the other folks who spoke.
Okay.
Cambridge Heights is talking to the township, and there are possible options that can be looked at by the township going forward. And that's all at this moment in time that can be done.
You say that is a bylaw. Bylaw does not support
Many
that somebody else.
Yeah, many
property will on my property, inside my property. That is the point. And it could be put as a law case.
I don't have your bylaws, so I don't know what they say, but the Cambridge Heights, is talking to the
No, it says that my garbage can should be inside my garage.
That's what says.
My, but this one is not mine. This is a property of township. You know, that is a big difference.
No, there really isn't, but that's okay.
No, that is a difference.
It's okay. I'll leave it to your lawyer to make the decision.
That is a take of my property.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, guys.
I appreciate what you're saying. I know I can't answer anything because I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, sorry.
Don't knock the guy over. Yes, sir.
Since nobody really asked that question,
I can't hear him.
My question is, I sit there and I looked at those carts up there.
Yeah.
Now, my question is going to be, how many of these things am I going to have?
You're going to get 2, one for vegetative,
all right,
and one for garbage.
For garbage.
The green one is for your vegetative.
What about the recycling?
Recycling stays just as it is today. Nothing changes.
That's not going to move.
That doesn't change. Nothing changes.
So that's I'm just going to have 2 small cans in for that.
Yeah, we talked about that when we first were talking about what to design and how to do things for your town, and your elected officials. And I understand your public works folks said, you really can't. We just don't have the ability to do all of that.
Well, 2 of this size, that doesn't work because I have no place to put it.
Yeah, we're hearing that, so you made the message clear.
So the question is, what do we do?
Well, again, the township is looking at alternatives, and I'm going to say again, give it a shot, and then the township will start working on different alternatives.
So I just call them and see what's going on.
You can call at some point. Let's wait until we get them working first.
That's
Let's
like
go from crawl to walk.
I have as much faith in this town as I can't believe it. The real question is, I've been trying for 5 years to get my curbs done.
I can't help you with that.
I know that. I'm just making a point. This has to do with the town. We had a guy come out and look at him. Never heard back from the town. 5 years. I got no curbs at all left. The snow plows have chewed them all up.
I can't help you with that one. Sorry.
You know how many times I've called them? My wife had a guy.
All right, so can I suggest we will quickly devolve into everything, whatever's wrong in Nutley, if we go down that path. And every town meeting I've ever attended, even in my town, that could devolve into complaining about a town. No town is perfect. So I don't have an answer for Curb, sorry. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question.
Wait, you guys aren't going to fight because you're Army, he's Navy,
I
right?
don't know if you can answer this, but we have our own garbage cans are gonna get recycled.
Uh-huh.
How do we get them there? Or are they gonna be picked up?
You're talking about the old cans that you're
Yeah.
getting rid of?
And what if you have,
Working out the details of whether it would come around on a collection day to take them or something else. Or not, it's not decided yet.
okay, because a lot of us have small cars and
Yeah.
may
They're
not
not
fit.
decided yet.
Okay,
I can't answer you.
okay. When you get rid of rats, get a tiger.
But they are working on it. Watch behind you. Don't knock anyone over.
Okay.
Hi there. I have a couple questions. First of all, Mayor Kelly, I appreciate you trying to save us some money. However, I'd like to know what the final cost of this 5-year program is. And
Yeah, so our current garbage costs, it costs roughly $1 million a year for the hauler to take the garbage away, and it costs roughly $1 million a year at the dump to tip the garbage into the dump. The new garbage cost, like we said earlier, it's going to cost $1.3 million for the new carts. Neighboring towns that did not make the switch have seen cost increases of over 100%. So put that in perspective, our $1 million a year would be $2 million a year. So the cost increase we received and these contracts have to go out, they have to be competitively bid on. So we can't just give them to anyone. The low bidder, it was a 32% increase. So it's roughly a $320,000 increase. So our cost went from 1 million to 1.3 million. However, switching to the carts with the lid seals it. The garbage bags that we use are porous, and so they'll absorb all the water rate when it's sitting out in the rain. Our tipping costs at the dump are likely going to go down 20%. So to put that in perspective, it's $1 million down to probably about
so
800,000.
it saved us money.
So we avoided a significant
But
cost increase.
The other thing is, my understanding is the 5-year contract has been signed.
Yes. So
We are locked into this. So no matter what we feel, it's
So
signed.
to give you the timeline, sealed bids for the new garbage system were opened in July. The commissioners unanimously awarded the bid in September. We started advertising this in October. The old contract expired at the end of October. We're already in the new contract, and we're in a phase-in phase in the new contract. And then this contract will expire in October of 2029.
I obviously cannot move this garbage can. It's
Right.
about as tall as I am. If I were to get a smaller garbage can and had more than was in the small garbage can, I would have to lease a second. While my neighbor has this huge thing that you see what I'm saying?
No.
Like, that's not really fair.
No, we're not going to require you to fit everything into
well,
one if you have.
I'll ask more questions. The other thing I'd like you to know is it was delivered on a day where there was wind and rain, and this is the letter that was attached to the garbage can.
I apologize.
So I don't know about my other neighbors, but when I ask people about letters, they're like, what letter? So is there a way we can get a letter like this and know what it says? Because I don't know what it says.
Yeah, it's already online, but
Why weren't they mailed? Why?
so what the town did, we did a series of press releases. We're doing information sessions. We're doing email blasts. We also sent
I
the
also
flyer.
never got the postcard, by the way.
Okay, so I apologize, but that was what sent to the U.S. Post Office, every door direct. So every door in Nutley should have gotten one, and I don't know why
Just
some
to
people.
let you know that I have friends at Parkside, and there were about 50, 60 that were in their recyclables at Parkside. So I don't know what happened to them, but
Right.
yeah. But thank you. And who we call who?
Yeah.
Public Works? Okay. Do we need to get a doctor's note and stuff to get this small can? All right. Okay, I will at the end. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And by the way, your question and your individual concerns like that, again, this is exactly why you have an information session. So thank you, by the way, for coming up. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening. I just, our
He's more
5-year,
important than I.
our 5-year, he is, our 5-year contract, is that a new hauler that's collecting our garbage?
No.
Okay. Do we have to pay to outfit their vehicles? That was all included.
And by the way, just to answer that further, he actually had a lot of these tippers and took them off to store them. And every truck today, not every truck, almost every garbage truck today is delivered with them because it's so common to use.
Are businesses and commercial properties going to get cans?
Just so everyone at home can hear. Yes, everyone's getting cans, commercial. The cost for an additional cart for residential property owners is $85, and that's the cost it costs us to get a cart. For commercial businesses, if they want to get an additional cart, it's $200. And that's simply because we don't want to force taxpayers to subsidize your business. So there's going to be a little bit more of a fee there.
But they're going to get at least one.
At least one, yes.
Okay.
Unless they're previously unless they previously have their own hauler or their own dumpster.
Okay. So if they don't have a contract in place, they're going to get.
Right. If they're currently using the town's services, we're going to provide them with a cart. If they're currently, because especially a lot of restaurants, they're going through garbage very often, so the town services wouldn't be appropriate for them.
Is that the same with multifamily properties, 3, 4, and above?
Multifamily, 2, 3, 4 units, they're going to have up to 4 units. They're definitely getting a cart. Beyond 4 units, it's similar to the commercial properties.
Okay. Is there going to be consideration for future expansion to include recycling?
So recycling is a different contract, and at this time it would just be speculation by me, and it's in a different department, and so. All right.
Well, I know it's our DPW collects our cardboard. That's correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, I would like to see, the cardboard, if anything, like the garbage, is strewn about the lawns and the streets. So it would be nice to put that in a can. And if we're making it safe for private contractors, we should be making it safe for our employees also.
That's a great point.
All right. Thank you.
I just want to ask
Yes.
one question. After the can is lifted
Yeah.
and emptied and
Yes.
comes back down,
Yes.
what happens to it?
I'm not sure the question.
Well-
The lid will close automatically if that's part of your question.
No.
You mean, where's it going to go? What do you do with it?
What do they do with it?
They just put it back on the ground where they got it.
Well, under the previous contract, there's obviously been problems where they're just throwing them willy-nilly. They're not going to throw this.
I've found them down the street and my husband said you cannot put your names on them.
That's correct. So under the current contract, they're required by the contract to place them back at the curb. If they don't do this, there's mechanisms in the contract for us to fine the hauler for not following the contract.
Okay. And when you said that we will not have to take them down the stairs or bring them up, is that what?
That's correct. We're not going to require anyone to take them up.
Who's going to do it for us?
What? No, you don't have to physically take the cart up and down. You can leave it at the bottom of the stairs.
I can't. I have an embankment. I do not have anything but a curb and a sidewalk and a crumbling curb and a sidewalk.
We're not going to require anyone to carry it up the stairs. If you have if you like you said, just leave it at the curb.
I can't. People can't walk by the curb on the sidewalk.
We'll have to go out and look at it. If you could leave your information with us.
Yeah, you've got my information, but I'll leave it again.
But you
I believe that.
you raised it.
6 years. 6 years.
You raised another point about marking the cart. That's correct. We don't want anyone permanently disfiguring or marking the cart because that could void the warranty. However, you can mark it with decals, tape, or anything that can be easily taken off the cart.
Just so that if it goes down the street, we know it's ours.
Yeah, and I've heard that most people will at some point start memorizing their serial numbers too, so they'll know by serial number. But
I have short-term
yeah,
memory
in the
loss.
meantime,
Memorizing.
in the meantime, tape and decals will work fine, or some other non-permanent way. Don't drill holes in the cart. Some people think, if there's water that gets in, I'll drill holes on the bottom. That'll void the warranty. Just make sure to keep the lid closed.
So these are not ours.
That's correct.
These are yours.
So
So when
right. So The way
or the towns.
how the town was able to purchase these without incurring a cost for you is we purchased them out of our capital fund, and so they're capitalized, and so they're required to remain the property of Nutley.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Again, I would really, many communities make the homeowners buy them directly where you do not.
Well, thank
You
you.
get better price on this. Well, New York's getting the best price, but they're 3 million cards.
Your name on it.
There you
Correct.
Yes, that's correct. So like I said, these are capitalized. They're required to remain the property of the Township of Nutley. And the language on the cart was approved by council. We were required to mark them saying that they're property of the Township of Nutley, and that language was approved through council. And there was several iterations that went through, but this was the language that was approved.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Carmen Alessio. I live on East Center Street. I'm not from Cambridge Heights. Everybody has their thing that either they want it or they don't want it. But in my particular incident, we do have an ordinance that says that you can't like put a clothesline across your lawn or put garbage pails in front of your house. And to me, it sounds like, from what I've seen already, to give you an instance, I was on my way here and the 2 cans were dropped off lane. They were in my driveway, like on the sidewalk on my way here. So I took the time, I wheeled them in the back. I said, these things are gigantic and I've seen them before, but we do have an ordinance. Now you're making allowances to try this and try that. And in the meantime, these things are going to be all over the place. And it's not what the ordinance calls for. It's obvious that some of these people can't handle, wheeling this stuff back and forth on their property, or it doesn't fit. In my particular instance, again, I'm on a commercial street, and the zone codes and all of that are not followed, and the parking is going to be a problem when they park in the street. We have one side parking and parking on the other side, and the residents live where there's parking, and the cans are going to be in the way. Like, how are we going to address that? I mean, there's enough problems with garbage all over the commercial, like Franklin Avenue and that, and we're going to have to look at these cans when there is an ordinance etched in stone that there's no reason to leave garbage pails in front. Now you're going to make allowances, like I just said, to accommodate people, but it's not good for the rest of the town. There's other people in the town too. I mean, this thing was not addressed properly from the beginning. And then the gentleman mentioned that the mayor's name is on the garbage can. Now, my garbage gets picked up on a Tuesday. Election day's on a Tuesday. So there'll be 28,000 garbage pails out on a Tuesday on election day. That doesn't look like too good. I mean, all these other towns, they don't have, in the video, they don't have the mayor's name on a garbage pail. I mean, I don't understand the rationale. I can understand a home down the shore having a container system like this. They have a long driveway. They have a nice house. They're not congested with people like on a tight squeeze in the community on a hill. It'll work good for them, but it's not going to work good for a lot of the other people in this community. So that's all I have to say. Now, if somebody can answer at least one of the questions that I asked, it would be nice. I haven't heard any answers except we don't know, we're not sure, give it time. This is like ridiculous. And I'm trying to be nice about it now. So if you could answer maybe something or ask me a question and I'll reinstate.
What was your initial question? I'm
We
not
have,
sure I can remember it now because
you seem to forget what other people say, but you know what you have to tell us, which is a bunch of BS.
What was your original question?
We have an ordinance in town.
Yes.
You can't leave garbage pails all over the place. And you responded by saying, well, you have to get used to it. I don't want to get used to anything. All right. I don't want to see the garbage. No, that is not a problem.
No, everywhere, not you.
There's garbage all over the town.
Right.
Okay.
That's
We have our tax-paying dollars pay for apartment complexes that are overdeveloped. Okay. And they're hidden costs with the garbage pickup. Now you're telling me or telling the group, okay, that there's going to be a price savings here. How are you going to save and what dollars are you talking about? We're going for 1.3 million initially. We have a bunch of senior citizens that have a 13-ounce garbage bag once a week. You're going to pick it up 2 times a week. 13 ounces of garbage litter in there. Then you're telling us, well, bring it out like when it gets filled. My property is not a storage dumping ground for garbage. I'm not going to store garbage in a container like that because the raccoons they burrow holes into the containers, and it's not going to stop the rat issue either. And you admitted it's not going to stop the rat issue. But in the meantime, we have the ordinance. I adhere to the ordinance. I don't want garbage pails all over. People leave them out in the, they're all over on the highest price, 30,000 tax dollar property tax community, like on Saturday. They're all out on the street. And they're just sitting there. I mean, this is not what anyone wants here.
Okay.
And that's all I have to say. Now, did you understand my question? Or you forgot it already? And I'm not trying to be funny, but you didn't answer any questions to anyone here. I mean, you could blink your eye on any, you're a salesman. You're trying to sell this.
I'm not selling. I'm trying to explain it to you. So if you would let me speak, I'll answer the question. It's done deal. All right, so let me try. We have 2 people here in line who want to ask.
I'm not done yet. I have
just said you were done.
No, you're.
Didn't he?
No,
Didn't he say he was done? So why don't you come up and ask a question? I'll try to answer all the questions together. Go ahead. Oh yeah, there seems, if there's confusion here, I do not work for a cart company or the garbage company or anyone else in that matter. I am simply a consultant to the town.
Okay, I've lived in Nutley for 14 years in Cambridge Heights, so my whole list of complaints has already been covered. But I would like to make one positive point. And I think a lot of people are ready to leave. We should end on a positive point, perhaps. But 12 years ago, I started asking the commissioners every time there was a re-election, when are you going to do what every other community of this size does and switch over to the semi-automatic backloading or side loading? And one of them came to my house to discuss it one time. For the rest, nothing happened until now. And so finally, you did it. You did it badly. We all know that tonight, but okay. But you did it. And so finally, at least I can start voting for people that were up for re-election. But I haven't done it for the last 10 years.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Where is the serial number on the cans?
Well,
So
this one doesn't have one
I know,
on it.
but where would mine be?
Above the handles. On the other side of the front.
On the chassis itself, it's right there.
Oh, it's there?
It could be hot, what they call a hot stamp. It's melted in and it has a
Oh,
number
it's
on it.
melted in there?
Yeah.
And I just have a question about like when it snows.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little hard with those cans. How does that work? Because you know, the town, they unfortunately push the snow into the aprons of everybody's driveway.
Well, there's not really much
So
alternative.
I know, and normally, and I know it's not right, but I put out the bag. Just the bag, no garbage can
Yeah.
when it snows. Because
So-
I don't have that much garbage, so the
Good for
bag
you,
is good for
first of
me. I know, I recycle everything.
Good for you.
Nobody eats my garbage. I don't know why, but Nobody eats my garbage.
And I'll try to answer that a little bit. First of all, every town I've ever been in, including I live on a county road. So let me tell you, when you get plowed in by a county truck, you're really plowed in. And that's just the way it is because that's just where the snow's got to go. And we have the same issue. Where do I put my carts? And I have to obviously shovel out my apron and put the cart in the apron and deal with it. Everybody does. The issue in terms of, and it kind of goes to a couple of the questions here and yours as well. What happens with carts? I'm in a dense neighborhood. I'm in this. So let me give you 6 examples. City of Baltimore using carts. City of Newark using carts. City of New York using carts. City of Philadelphia using carts. City of San Francisco, 3 carts per home. City of Portland, Oregon, 3 carts per home. These are all townhome communities, and they all have learned to deal with it. As far as the plowing of a driveway, I can't help that one, obviously, you know. And yes, wintertime with any garbage is a little more difficult for anybody. So I can't say I can't fix that one, but we don't get any snow anymore. So it'll stay that way. I can't answer that one. Go ahead.
This is just a quick question.
Yeah.
The volunteer firehouse at 290 Park Avenue, are we getting a cart? 290
The
Park
volunteer
Avenue.
firehouse.
Please, thank you. Yeah, because
I think they are, right?
it's going to be a great deal for us.
You don't have a dumpster there now, right?
We do not. We use regular garbage cans.
And then the answer would be you probably are.
Okay. Daniel, thank you.
Oh, because they're not done yet, if that's the question.
No,
Okay.
See them deliver.
Yeah,
but
yeah, okay.
Really appreciate it.
You just.
I'm just going to say one last thing.
Please do.
When designing a
Not-
townhouse
you say
in
it anyway.
2025 using the building codes,
Mhm.
we have to accommodate certain clearances for the truck to be able to back up to where we have the trash receptacle next to the residential house. And it needs to have a certain spot for it to hold, to house it. When we are, I don't live in a townhouse, but I'm advocating for certain people that I
understand.
feel their frustration. If these are existing conditions to a townhouse, we can't impose non-compliant conditions within that. So when I'm dealing with a 1938 built building in New York City, I have to accommodate 1938 building codes. I'm not going to accommodate 2025 codes within a 1938 code. So if Cambridge Heights was built in whatever year, we have to accommodate those kind of ordinance, not impose new ordinance that really won't complement the existing conditions. And that's all I have to say.
Appreciate the comment.
I just wanted to ask the mayor one thing as you're having conversation with all these different scenarios. One of the possibilities of the exchange idea of a garbage can from a can that's used for just trees and leaves is we could put maybe removable decals on that and just label it garbage
Appreciate it.
versus exchange program or anything else. So if you could consider that.
It's something to look at. The color might confuse them, but it's worth looking at. It's worth looking at.
That's removable.
We can look at it. Can't hurt to look. And we know everybody. Yes, sir.
Last week when I was here.
Please, just to make it easier. For there are still people on Zoom. I don't know how many. But
Last week when I was here, I addressed the next door neighbor. She's 94 years old. She lives by herself. She doesn't drive, right? So I addressed it and they said, talk to these ladies, and I gave them my information and I was never contacted back. Now, what I'd like to do is at least just get her the smaller garbage can so that it would make it easier for her.
a reasonable question. I
But
don't have the
didn't-
answer. Can
they
you
were
talk to
supposed
them,
get
give them
back
your
to me.
number again? Just
I
to be
did that
safe?
last week. That's what I'm trying to say.
Just to be safe.
Okay.
You know, things happen, right? Like curbs and things like that, right?
Good evening. Name's Matt Soy here. I'm a resident at Cambridge Heights. And this is actually a question for the mayor. Since I do live at Cambridge Heights, will somebody, yourself or somebody in your office, come out to our complex and just see what we're dealing with the new garbage cans and how we can address the issue?
Yeah, yes, we're happy to do that. We're already talking with your board, and
I'm actually on the board also.
Okay.
I'm the secretary on the board. Sure. And I fully understand moving forward and cost saving and everything else, which is a great idea, but you do need to make adjustments.
Right. This is so for the rollout, it's one size fits all. You can't fit 2 bags in you can't fit 8 bags in a 2-bag garbage can, but you can fit 2 bags in an 8-bag garbage can. And so this is a system that's supposed to work for the entire town. And as we get more deeper into this new system, we'll be able to figure out where the kinks are and be able to adjust accordingly.
All right. I just want to make sure that either you or somebody from your office will actually be on site.
Absolutely.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. You want to take my name? Because I am on the board. I can be a contact person. Okay. I'll give it to you there because I think it's really important because I live in a townhouse. It's a narrow driveway. For me to fit it inside my garage with my vehicle, which is why I bought the place so I could store it in the garage, I have a problem getting in and out. And if something were to happen during the night and I had to get out through my garage exit with the garbage can wedged in between my car, I have a problem. So these are things we do have to look at. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to point out a couple of people who came tonight who said, without quoting anyone, just to reiterate that, comments have been made. Of course, people that come out to meetings typically don't come out to say, hey, what a great job y'all did. Some people do, but most people don't. I did ask the staff, I won't read them to you, but this folder has multiple email posts. There are a lot of people in town who really like this idea. So I know, my point being, you're going to get a lot of people who do like it, and you're going to get a lot of people who don't like it. And then you're going to have people in the middle, which is really where I place most of you. Kind of in the middle, you may like the idea, but you have some problems with the way it's done, or you have problems with the size or the location. I put you that's that middle category where you need to adjust. I will say to you again, in any community where I've seen this rolled out, and it's been many, your questions I've heard every time, and they're always good. They make perfect sense to me. That you're going to ask those questions. I've heard it in every single community, from ones in the Poconos, where you want to talk about hills, to ones in Middletown, all the way down the line. Perfect sense. And the fact is that it will move forward, and there will be some adjustment, as you've heard tonight. And then the last element is, of course, you have to try something new. And when you try something new, there will be glitches. There will always be glitches in something new, and there will always be issues that have to be resolved. I don't care what it is. So try a little patience with it is my advice to you. If there are issues, give it some time, then jot down the issues, share them politely with the staff. And I know I've been on the receiving end in some towns, not here, but I've been in situations, just try to be polite with people. That's all I would ask you to do.
But half of those people pulled the department and got no responses. So
I think we're hearing that being addressed tonight by giving them your names again. So that's a good thing. To know that, it's good to understand that may have happened.
I tried to try it. I can't. Because I can't move it, I can't store it, I can't do anything with it.
You're in Cambridge Heights, you're in Cambridge Heights, right? So we've heard a lot of this from Cambridge Heights, and you've heard tonight that there's going to be ongoing discussion with that. I can't say to you tonight that a cart is going to disappear tomorrow because you don't like it. I'm not going to say that. That would be a lie, and I'm not going to tell you that. It's got to give it some time. You've got discussion. You've got board members here who are doing their job. I know you get a high salary being on the board of a condo association. And having grown up in Belleville, I understand that fully. So it's it. Go ahead. And then you.
A fatality or a law that you believe all have to be. You would have certain, I would have certain issues like they do.
Yeah.
But I don't know building. I know what can work, what can't work. You're just trying to roll out something that is not jiving with the entire community. And say,
so we can have this discussion offline, but when you design in New York and I do green building, yeah, I understand that. But when I design in different towns and I design green building, as I just said to you, every 1 to 9 family building in New York is getting a cart, and they're going to be made to work. Harder, easier.
Give it 35 gallons. My sister just bought a house.
Yeah.
Just gave it community trash.
What, I don't know what town you just said. Clifton. Well, they were for the recycling. I think that.
I see the drop off, like, quite a bit, we just bought the
Uh-huh.
property. So I started looking at the apartments there versus Nutley, and I was like, wait a second, you guys get eight?
All right, let's do this.
Presentation was cleanliness, organization.
Yes.
Recycling is the number one that applies everywhere along the streets.
Rats don't eat newspaper, they do eat garbage. So, but we can continue. Yeah, we'll be here all night, you and I. We can't do that to the rest of them. I don't know. I don't believe it's not fully implemented yet. They're just being delivered, but that will be starting soon. Yeah, I think the first week in January is when it really starts. Well, we won't know till then. 2nd of January. Thank you.
Oops, excuse me there.
2nd of January. I guess we're done. I'm seeing people leaving. I don't know. I'm sorry. Did you have something you want to ask? You've been sitting here patiently all night. Okay. You've been very patient, so I'm wondering if you were just trying to say, okay, I'll get to this sooner or later. Thank you.
It's like everybody driving a white Toyota.
I would like a light Lucid, but you know.
I'm a Tesla guy, so.
Yeah, I couldn't afford them. Don't need this. I think we're done, Mayor. I think you can zip the whatever you call that thing. Thank you for your patience. I'm glad you left. Bigger if you want yelp. If this is going